Hi guys, welcome to the flight today. We're down in Madeira with the 737 Zibo mod. We're going to be trying out the Top Cat takeoff performance as we depart runway 23 as we head down to Lisbon, arriving in on the ILS for runway 03. So we can use the Top Cat performance, test that out as well, as we'll have a proper thrust on the engines as well. And should be a good flight. So don't forget to like and subscribe guys, leave your comments down below. Now we'll get inside the cockpit and get the aircraft all started up, ready for the cold and dark cockpit of the 737 Zibo mod. So we've got the battery on and guarded, standby power is guarded, and ground power is on. Go and get the panel lights on, as we got the irises on to nav, which is checked. Test out the flat config. Test out the flight recorder, lights off, which is checked. Stalling that will come on afterwards. Get the emergency lights all armed, we get no smoking, fasten seatbelts on, engine to both. We get the one pump on for the APU. We're going to be riding out today with 66 tons. We're going to be using a flex temp of 54 on departure as we ride out. There's the low oil pressure, we get the anti-collision lights.
We'll be taking off in just a few minutes. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for departure.
We'll be going in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not just yet. So as we get all of the padding for the aircraft, light all of our panels up as well. So keep forgetting we can just get rid of the yoke. So as we get all of our panel lit, everything overhead is lit as well. We can light up the whole cockpit as well. I don't think we're going to need too much of the background as we come in. We can leave the background like that for now, which is set. And we can turn down the panel display, which is also checked. So as I can hear the IRS now being ready to done, we'll go in to the FMC, get everything all calculated and set, ready for us to leave. So Lima Papa Mike Alpha is going to be in for the IRS. We'll go to the left side, we'll punch that in over to our route. We're coming in for Lima Papa Papa Tango. Going to be departing out runway 23. Going to be using the SID, which is going to be the Dejan 1 Whiskey. From Dejan, we're then going to make our way down to Nata. From Nata, we then go direct to Unpop. Inputs are a little bit slow as we've got a new mouse now, and just a little bit different. So we're going to be taking the Unop 8 Alpha on arrival. Coming in for the ILS 03, and we are transitioning for PESX. As we can see on the charts, we're coming in for runway 03. We're going to take Umpop right down the 039 all the way 4,000 above, max 220 ECMA, and then we'll ride around to then join in for PESX, which is going to be the start of the arrival. PESX will be the descent point, which is 11.3 from the localizer. So as that's all in now, we can activate that up, which is checked. Going to the path, we'll get everything all set. We've got reserves of 2, coming out on a cost index of 33. Going for flight level 360, winds at 360, 272029. That's going to give us minus 57. Our top of climb outside air temperature, trans is 5000. Flex temp we're going to be using is 54, and it is 15 degrees outside. End power we're going to be using is 93.2, so we could probably put that to 53. We'll leave that at 53, which should be fine. On forward takeoff, we're going to be going out for a flaps 5. We've got a 143, 144, and a 145 for V2. Now they probably are going to get deleted once we put the winds in. Winds are 180 at 15. Down for the slope we've got down 0.6. Runway heading is 231. Okay, which is checked. Put 143 in, 144 and 145. Which is checked. Center of gravity leaving out is going to be 27.3. That goes 4.5 on the trim. Everything else now is pretty much all ready to go. So what we can do is we can call the tug and get ready to leave.
So connected and bypass tuning circuit. Release parking
checked.
Starting pushback. You may start the engine.
Okay, so as we get all the engines on, we get the sensors on, your damper can come over, as we go over to the APU gen, which is checked, packs are off, APU bleed is on, as we didn't set the pressurization over, and we are now ready and set to leave. Electric hydraulics, which are checked, engine starts to both, and we can go to ground. So start valves open, N2 is increasing, 25% would inject fuel, and we see EGT start to increase. That is 16%, N2 can come in, which is checked, logo can come on now. There's EGT starting to increase, and engine number 2 is now coming to life. Engine number 2, EGT stabilising, we'll go for engine number 1. N2 increasing. 25% again would inject fuel and see EGT start to increase. There's engine number 1, starter cut out, now comes back to life. Engine number 1's EGT stabilising, so we'll just go overhead, prepare the aircraft, we'll get the packs back over, we'll go to Gen 1, we'll get the probes on. Packs can go to auto, isolation valves auto, engine bleeds, APU can go off, along with the APU.
Operation
start switches on
complete.
continuous.
Set parking brake.
Parking brake is set and we are now ready to leave.
Connecting tow. Stand by.
Stand by. Okay, so I'm going to get Funshaw in, not that we really need it, but we'll get Funshaw in, which is the 1122. Can check on the weather as well. Weather seems to be clear, 15 knot winds coming out. We'll get the terrain on now. So leaving out departure, we're going to have 1000. As soon as we take off, we're going to make a left-hand turn onto the 175, 4,000 feet above. We'll then make our left-hand turn. We'll be following out, as is the RNAV departure, so we'll be following out on the
Now is
LNAV.
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. And signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
See you soon, bye-bye. So we're looking around 2,481 meters. We're going to be having around a 273 meter margin on takeoff. So flaps 5 are set, auto brake is armed, engine start switches are continuous, taxi lights can now go on, and we are ready to depart. So it's the first time using the Top Cat performance in the Zibo, and it's the first time actually taking the Zibo out on a flight since using OpenGL with X-Enviro, so we'll take that out for a flight in the rain. As we release the brakes now, and we power on up to runway 23. So we'll just get some power in just to edge the aircraft forward. As we come out now, taxi, we're going to go straight up Alpha onto the Bravo, and then enter onto the runway, and then back taxi up to the end. Flex temps 53 coming out. We could probably do with putting in a make sure we're going straight. What we can probably do is probably get away with 51. That's more like it. We'll get the V speeds in as we just come over to the taxi. We'll be approaching the hold short where we'll run over and then get the aircraft fully configured. So we've got 143, 144 and 145, V2 plus 15 will be 160, which we'll see on a little white dot, which will be above our 145 speed. And that will be our V2, which the aircraft will hold until we bug up. Also want to put in on the aircraft as well. When you do the cutout can be 1,000 and put 3,000 feet in for climb 2. And by setting the cutout 800, put 2,000 feet. There we go. So that's all clear now. As we run over the hold short, you can get the runway turn off lights on. Strobes can go on. Tell the cabin to get ready. As you now make that left-hand turn onto runway 23. So we'll follow the low visibility lines. Max 50 knots down the runway. Taxi on down to the end. Max. There is the wind that you guys can hear. As we're going to come around now and turn around. Flaps 5 is down, also brakes RTO, which is checked. We are now ready for our departure route. As we line up now for runway 23. Okay, so here we are now at runway 23. We can go ahead and get the LNAV on. We can arm the head and select, so LNAV will come on after 400 feet. As soon as we are basically safe to do so, we will turn on to the 175, 4,000 feet above, continue that climb out. Over on the climb, got a cutout, which is going to be climb 2 will be restored. 200 feet ADL, 800 feet reduction on the thrust. And then we'll stay up and get restored at 2,000 feet. So as we are now all ready to go, we can get the landing lights on, which are checked. Tell the cabin, take their seats. Can't release the brakes, go up to 45%. Stabilised and tow gun. Full pressure on the column. Takeoff thrust is set. Airspeed live.
80 knots.
Check. Throttle hold. 100, he's back on the column.
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Check. LNAV is engaged. Can bug up to a flaps up speed, which is set as we made that left hand turn now, coming on to the 175.
1,000.
1,000 checked. There's climb 2, or climb, yeah, there's climb 2. As we pass into a flaps 1, get some trimming so we don't lose the aircraft from the drag. So now we're going to get lost from the flaps as we're following on to that 175 left hand turn. It is nice, I do like the Zibo a lot, as the physics are absolutely fantastic. They're not sensitive, you can get really stuck in with the controls. VNAV's now engaged as flaps are fully up. Gear can now be turned off, auto brake can be turned off as well. Now we're just battling some winds as we come into that left hand turn, which is the 175. Just come up now on flight manual 250, you can see with the winds as we battle. Passing transition, now we get the QNHs set back over to standard as we hold now for 250 until we get down to 10,000 feet. As you can see with the weather it's not very nice. Even at 175 we're then going to head on to the 048. Which is also checked. And as we are stable now, we'll just drop the nose in to get in with the flight director. And we get the autopilot on. L-Nav and VNAV is now in. VNAV speed, we get the runway turn-off lights, taxi lights, engine start switches can be turned off. We tell the cabin to now relax, passing near to 10,000 feet. As we make that left-hand turn now onto the 048, which is going to take us towards Dijon. 048 is in, so after takeoff channels, auto brake is off, flaps are up, no lights, gear is up, no lights, landing lights are now off and checked, seatbelts are off, and everything overhead seems to be looking nice for us today. So there's no weather in the vicinity as we do. There's our top climb for 360.
To our cruising altitude, we'd like to extend a special. For your safety, it's important to remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt sign is on. Even if the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened in case we experience any unexpected rough air. We ask that you also please remember to use caution if opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted during takeoff. Now reach an altitude where it's safe to use approved electronic devices, and a listing of these devices can be found in Sky Magazine in the seat pocket in front of you. On today's flight in the economy cabin, it'll be our pleasure to offer you complimentary Coca-Cola products, Starbucks coffee, water, juices, a variety of complimentary snacks, as well as a selection of our fresh eats items and all-day goodies. Beer, wine, and spirits are available complimentary for our first.
As we pass down through 12,005 on our way up to flight level 360, which we've got plugged in on the MCP altitude. We're now heading down onto the 048, which we're going to take continuously until we get all the way down to our top of descent. And there is our end of descent right there, which is literally right in front of us. We go on to plan, we can step down, so we can see on the arrival as we're coming down past Nata. We'll get to our top of descent. Then going to get to Untop, where we'll then follow it from Untop, 190 below, then decel it all the way through. We check down on the arrival, we can check our speed restrictions, so below 190, which is in, 4,000 above for the Papa Tango, which is in and checked, ECMA, which is going to be for 4,220 on both, which is 22 below. Which is checked, and then 4,000 all the way around to Pacer, which is 180 on our speed. So PESEX 161. So we are going to be right down, ready for our flaps 15 gear down by the time we arrive in. Coming in, which will be the 026 on the arrival down into Lisbon. So I'm going to leave you guys with the takeoff cinematics. I'll give you a wing view, as I don't think it'd be able to see anything on the outside. And once we get to our top of descent, I'll be tuning back in with you guys as we take our descent down onto the runway. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you when we get back. guys, welcome back to the flight deck, and as we're just about to make our top of descent down, just within around 5 nautical miles. So we're going to tune down to below 190, so we'll put it down to 15,000 feet, which is set. Going to be coming down, there's a vertical deviation, just getting ready, and we'll see that come to life on the PFD. Just as we pass our top of descent, you'll see the little purple magenta, and that's basically like our VNAV profile. This is sort of like our ONAV profile right here. As we start our descent down to 190 below for Unpot, which we're just approaching now, which you can see we're just approaching down. Once we get to Unpot, UMAX 250 or flight level 190 below. We'll get to the Papa Tango 418, which will be 4,000 feet above, and we'll get to 220 max at ECMA. So we'll follow 4,000 feet above all the way down until we get to Passex, and Passex is going to be for 4,000. So what I'm going to do is, when we get down to Passex, I'm going to make sure that we get 4,000 in from Passex and 4,000 in from the waypoint just before, so we can actually make the aircraft get there for 4,000 feet. I don't want it hanging at 4,000 feet above, and then the aircraft has to do like a rapid descent down. As we passed our top of descent, for some reason the VNAV didn't come in. So there's the VNAV profile coming in now as we start that descent down from flight level 360. Then once we get down to Unpot, that'll be for flight level 19. We can check the vertical bearing as well on the descent. We've got the vertical bearing 3.4 it wants to 2.5, so the aircraft will keep descending, and you'll see the flight path angle increase. Till it gets to 3.4, we'll be looking for around about 2,800 feet per minute. So we start to decel now for 250, 190 below at Unpot. We've got the engine start switches, which can go to continuous, which are checked. We can tell the cabin that we are ready to come down. Engine anti-ice switch is on, elevation is 350. On the pressurization cam, we're coming for auto brake number 2. As we ride down for our performance, we can get that all calculated. So 66 to 72, which is 0.6. Take that off, 63.7. We'll be riding in on 159. We've got 146. We'll check out the winds, and we'll get the ILS frequencies all set in and configured. So as we get the METARs down for Lisbon, we've got 1031. We pass in transition. We'll say 5,000 feet, switch over transition, get that down. 040 at 7 knots, we can plus 5 that onto the approach, which will give us a 151. If the winds are calm, we could probably get away with flaps 40, but it's only going to be too much. So if we do a flaps 40, and we've got 139 plus 5, that gives us a 144. We've got auto brake number 2. Don't really do flaps 40 too often. I usually like doing flaps 30 because the winds are always nice and calm, but because we are coming in a bit heavy, we'll take flaps 40 just to give us a bit more slow on the profile. So it's becoming 350 at 5 knots from 040 at 7. No clouds below 1,500 meters. We've got no Columbus. Temperature's 9. Basically 3-knot winds varying from the east to northeast and between the north and northeast. So there's our decel 285. We're going to decel for 250, which we can see 250 below for Unpot, which is coming in next. Get the terrain on as we get ready. You can see the lovely sun now starting to rise up as we arrive into Lisbon. ILS frequencies coming in is going to be the 109.1. We've got Lisbon in 75 nautical miles. So we'll get the 109.1 in, which we'll have ready to switch over. We're going to keep the ILS on actually, as we've got the VOR here for Lisbon, which is 74. So that is all in and set. We've got the 278, the 026, which we'll be taking. There's 026. And 026, which is set. 1031 as we come back down into the airport. Which is also checked, and our minimums coming down is going to be 530 for a 200-foot decision. minus 530, which is checked. As we pass now through 20,000 feet, we can drop that down to 4,000. As the aircraft now starts to decel itself from flight level 200, so as soon as we pass Unpop, we can then start to make that left-hand turn, which is then going to take us on to the 039. The 039, which is checked. There's the throttles idling now as the aircraft will start its descent from Unpop all the way down to ECMA, which will be for the arrival. So we are now just passing Unpop, which will be max 250 below flight level 190. So as soon as we pass, we will see the decel, which is there with bang on for the vertical profile, which we can check on the descent, the flight path angle to the vertical bearing. So we are just a little higher than we need to be, 1700 to 2000. So the aircraft will straighten itself out in a few moments time, and it'll be all set to come in. We've got auto brake number 2 as we come inbound onto the 026 course, and we've got the 109.1, just to confirm, the 109.1, which is right there for the India Lima, India. PASX is 11.3 DME when we start the descent, and we'll come down the 3-degree climb path looking for 144, so that will give us just probably around 770 feet per minute. 039 is in as the sun now starts to rise for lovely Lisbon, currently 60 nautical miles out, as we now track the 039 inbound towards ECMA now. As we slow forward 250. Speed brakes are armed. Going for a flaps 40, which would be a VREV 40 plus 5, which gives us a 144. As we pass through 16,009, seatbelt signs are on.
Turn on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please recheck the security of your seatbelt.
Minus 5 at the moment. Temperature's 9 down in Lisbon. Calm winds 1031 QNH. Auto brake number 2 coming in. Get the speed brakes open so we can decel to 250. Is checked. We'll let speed brakes in just a few moments. Okay, speed brakes can go in as we're going to build up a little bit of speed on the descent. So we're fully configured now to come in from a 03. Should be really nice, and on the approach we can see we are literally just near to making that right hand turn, but we're then going to decel on our speed restrictions around onto that right hand turn, which will be then slowing us down to 220, then 200 before that left, before we get to PASX, which is 180. So what we're going to do is it's pretty much going to go like this. We'll get down to our flaps up speed, when we make that left hand turn to intercept down for the localizer, we'll drop into a flaps 5. And then once we get to PASX, that'll be our flaps 15 gear down, it's 180 below. If we're going to be 11 DME out, we could probably ride it a few nautical miles until we get near to drop down the gear. It's 180 max. Flaps 5 is probably going to be around 175. Passing through 13,008. As we just break through some cloud layer. Just got the coast of Lisbon in sight. Flight path angle 2.8, so we are on the right descent path, and we are all set to come in ECMA. We're looking 21 nautical miles to go. As the aircraft's doing a lovely job now, just holding on to our vertical profile. There's the decel, which will take us down to 220. We're making that right hand turn onto the 131. as we pass through 12,004. Engine start switches are continuous. Fasten seatbelt signs are on. We are fully configured to come in. The 10910, which is in. We've got Lisbon down on the right hand side. Currently 40 nautical miles to go. Passing through 11,800 feet. It's under 10,000. Landing lights will go in. We've got auto brake number 2 coming in for VREF 40 plus 5 for a 144. Winds are variable 3 knots. You can see the RMI for Lisbon, which is pointing just over into the direction of the Lisbon VOR, which is just over to the left centre side of the airport. .1031, which will be set down passing through 5,000 feet. There's 10,000, landing lights can now go on. Nautical miles to go to Papa Tango 418 before we rise round onto the 131. So as the sun slowly starts to rise for Lisbon, we'll be making our arrival in. The aircraft now continues its descent. We'll be slowing down for 220 max. As you can see, 220 below for ECMA, which is coming in just now. As we go into that right hand turn, get a 131 in, which is checked, 4,000, which is in. Brake can come in as well. As we are going to slow down at our VNAV speed. It's going to come down to a flaps up, 220 max for now. So we get the aircraft prepared now. We've got speed intervention in 220, which is currently in now. As the aircraft slows down, still holding the VNAV path. It hasn't switched into VNAV speed, so it's still holding the vertical profile, which has got control now of the speed to allow the aircraft to slow down. It's coming up to a +5. Engine anti-ice is on. There's no ice or anything in the area. As we pass through 7,008 from ECMA onto that 131 track. Speed brakes are currently open now as we pass through 7,007. Speed brakes can now be pulled in. Turning right now onto the 131, we can see we're 22 nautical miles away from the localizer. There's our next decel, which will be under 200, which will get in just under a flat 1. Looking forward to flying the Zibo when we disconnect. Haven't flown it in a while, so it would be nice to get stuck in on the control column. So as we come down for the approach, we can now check in. Switch the ILS over to 109.1. As you can see, further decel point 220 max for the Papa Tango 420. So we need to slow down to 220 and then 200. By the time we come into that right hand turn, passing through 6,006. slow to 200, which will be our next decel. Then from there we'll take inbound onto the 026. Go to 131. Gonna go to the 117. And just start to see sort of further now. So we'll drop into a flaps 1. As we just pass, we'll lock the speed brakes in. As we're coming down for 4,000 feet, get the control column over. Okay, speed brakes can go in, they are pre-armed, and we'll go down into a flaps 1. Made that left-hand turn now to the 026. Just checked. Flaps 1 is engaged. QNHs can now be switched over, passing through 5,000. I would take it as a level change. That way the VNAV doesn't go on a mad one. And we've still got time, as we've got to get to PASIX, which is still a few bits to go. So as we slow down now to flaps 1.
1,000 to go.
1,000 to go, we can continue the descent down at 600 feet per minute. There's the airport in sight. And get the localizer in, which will just now track inbound. Which should track inbound. Don't know where it's gone. It should be there, the magenta dot, as the aircraft now lines up. Going to go down for 4,000 feet, there's PASIX. Just holding now at 189 as we're inbound. So the VOR lock is there, but I don't know where the magenta dot is. It was outlined in white just before we switched over. So we must be lined up and configured as we are dead straight with the runway. Currently 16.9 DME, so I'm not going to drop a flaps 5 just yet, as we're still 16 nautical miles out. As we're coming for the approach checklist, we've got the auto brake, which is number 2. We're coming in for a VREF 40 plus 5, which is a 144. Got a 109.1, which are set and cross checks on either side. And we've got the courses, which are 026, which are also checked and set. As we pass for PASIX, it's max 180, so we could have held 200 all the way to PASIX. We'll keep it there. 11.3 DME is where we're going to start the descent down. 11.3 from the localizer. We're dropping to a flaps 5. There's 4,000 held. Get the approach switched over. DME, we start the descent. So around 2 nautical miles. It's 10 degrees now, engine anti-ice is off. Get the runway turn off lights on as well. There's glide slope coming in. Drop into our flaps 15 gear down. Looking around 700 to 800 feet per minute. So single channel now, glide slope's engaged. 15 is down and south. 530. Which is set and green.
2500.
Now we're now going to flaps 40, which is 144. So in for the landing checklist, got gear down 3 green, also brake sets number 2, flaps 40, which is green light. Landing lights are on. Now we are established now on the single channel coming in for the 144. 026, which is set. And we are now fully configured for the arrival, guys. Runway turn off lights, which are on. Cabin crew can be told, take your seats now for arrival. And we've got auto brake number 2 coming in. So we'll have a little bit more drag with flaps 40. So enjoy the arrival, guys, and I will see you on the other side. AGL. For 200 feet. As I'm happy now, we can do some manual flying, so I'm going to disconnect the autopilot and disconnect the auto throttle, and now I have control of the aircraft.
Feet stabilized, Mr. Perch altitude set.
Delta Sky team, our global partners, and especially your flight crew. We'd like to thank you all for flying with us. We've enjoyed having you on
And
board.
there we are, guys,
and look
down
forward to the
in
opportunity to
Lisbon.
serve you once again.
Hope you enjoyed the arrival in the 737-800 Zibo mod. As we just pass over the whole shore, we'll get the strobes off, and then we'll get into the landing cinematics for the arrival. Thanks everybody who joined as a part of the community. Thanks for reaching 2,000 subscribers as well. I do really appreciate the support from every single one of you guys, and we'll continue to bring these flights to the channel for as long as I can. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Leave your comments down below. I'm going to leave you with the landing cinematics, and I'll see you all very soon. So take care for now. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you.